Welcome to the Arasta channel. In this video, I will explain the story of the Donghua series Swallowed Star, Season 2, Episode 78. In the previous episode, Luo Feng, who went to the ruins of the ancient civilization number 12, found a fighter plane made of the products of the Black Dragon Mountain clan from outer space. After he got in, he ran into several problems, until finally getting to the main control room. When Babata tried to take over the ship, the fighter's artificial intelligence system started an automatic destruction system. And this is where Babata's skills will be tested. Will she be able to stop the plane from being destroyed? Instead of being curious, we'll just get right to the storyline. At the start of the episode, the Golden Behemoth monster, which caused a lot of damage and was a threat to all humans, attacked in the plains of Jiangnan-Base City. This creature again caused fear by launching big attacks that made a lot of people panic. People who were scared of the figure were now running to the underground bunker to leave right away, so that the Golden Behemoth monster won't attack the underground bunker. Commander Li calls on the military troops to use the electromagnetic weapon. He would also come back to lead the air troop column and try to get the Golden Behemoth out of Jiangnan-Base City. It is said that this electromagnetic laser weapon is a new technology with more power than America's laser cannon. Even if these cannons couldn't defeat the Golden Behemoth monsters, Commander Li hoped that these electrolasers could help a little. At the same time, Commander Li took off with the fighter planes and the Air Force toward the Golden Monster that was destroying big buildings. Then, he turned on an electromagnetic laser that targeted the attack at the monster and focused it on a single point. Of course, the attack from the weapon has no effect on this monster. And finally, the laser blast from the Golden Behemoth destroyed the laser weapon right away. Electromagnetic laser is actually not very helpful in the attack. Because of that, Commander Li would lead the Air Force unit and form a line of formation, then launch a series of shots at the Golden Behemoth monster. And when the monster's attention was fully on the Air Force, Commander Li told all the fighter jets in Jiangnan City to leave the city to get the monster's attention so that the monster wouldn't do any more damage to the city. This time, Commander Li's plan finally succeeded. But next, he still had to lure the Golden Behemoth monster to a location very far from the city. But unfortunately, the monster's first attack was aimed at Commander Li, which damaged the part of the plane he was driving. This forced him to get off the plane right away and jump with his parachute. But bad luck in these tense times. Instead, Commander Li's parachute got stuck, causing it to stop working. But luckily, warriors were able to catch and help Commander Li before he fell from a height. While the rest of the airborne military force continued to dart around to draw the attention of the Golden Behemoth monster to a faraway place. Commander Li and the fighters paid tribute to the airborne troops who were still fighting, and they made the city of Jiangnan Base safe for now. The scene switches to the ruins of ancient civilization number 12. You can see that the countdown on the spaceship that was supposed to explode in 30 seconds stops all of a sudden. Of course, this is an act by Babata, who was able to stop the explosion in a very short amount of time and in time. So in short, here Babata uses his ability to destroy the artificial intelligence system contained in the plane, thus stopping the process of the artificial intelligence system, which is already carrying out the process of destroying the ship. Before destroying the ship's system, Babata sent countless amounts of data from his memory to the aircraft's artificial intelligence system. With the memory capacity possessed by the aircraft's artificial intelligence, the data sent by Babata could not be processed in a short time and ended with the death of the aircraft's artificial intelligence system. This also shows that the artificial intelligence of this plane still cannot be compared to Babada's sophistication, which already has its own consciousness. With Babada's expression, she seemed to be proud of the ability she had shown earlier. But on the other hand, what Babada did this time caused fatal damage to the control room system. So this spaceship is inoperable for the time being. Even though it was unfortunate that the plane had been damaged, Luo Feng still thanked Babada for all the help she had given so far. But from Babada's response, it was only a trivial thing. But from his body language while wagging his tail and wings, this showed that Babada was actually pleased with Luo Feng's praise. And Babada is ashamed to admit it. Babada went on to explain that this ship from the Black Dragon Mountain Clan X-81 was not a normal plane. So the owner isn't a random person. Most likely, his owner owns a deposit site in the galaxy that contains various kinds of valuable relics or random artifacts. Besides, Babada will also try to repair the silver humans to see if they can still function or not. Luo Feng then asked, considering that this ship had a star-destroying weapon, would the destruction of the plane's artificial intelligence system also affect the function of the weapon? Babada answered, no, of course not. Because all that was destroyed was the artificial intelligence system, the star-destroying weapon was still in use. But because the weapon is hundreds of thousands of years old, Babada will disassemble it and reassemble it so that it can be used more optimally. Here Babada promises to assemble a star-destroying weapon in just 2 days. It was a good thing, and Luo Feng thanked Babada again. Babada was so sure of himself that he thought it would be easy to do the job. And then, to carry out further assembly and repairs, Babada will store the fighter aircraft into its virtual storage space in the Babada storage room. Here, Luo Feng would put the mothership into his storage ring, because maybe there are still useful things in the wreckage of the aircraft carrier. After putting the aircraft carrier in Luo Feng's storage room, he rushed to the surface to find out what was going on with the world, which was in a lot of chaos at the time. On the way home, Luo Feng got a call from Inspector Jie, who had previously tried calling Luo Feng several times. He also reported on the current situation where the Golden Behemoth monster, which had previously been injured by a hydrogen bomb, is now getting crazier, where these creatures attacked China and India. But the condition of Jiangnan City can still be considered lucky because it was not completely destroyed. From here, the impact of the Golden Behemoth monster's attack had been minimized by the military forces' struggles. Until, finally, the monster can be herded into an uninhabited area by the Air Force. Here, Luo Feng was told to go home first to meet his family, because after that, he had to return to the meeting in the virtual room of the War God's Palace. And after that, we will see how the Jiangnan City is doing following the Golden Behemoth monster's slaughter attack. It seems that it is not only warriors and members of the military who are injured, but there were also many civilians who were affected by the slaughter of the Golden Behemoth monster. Not long ago, the city inspector of Jiangnan Base finally arrived, whereupon Luo Feng was immediately confronted with a terrifying sight. With the condition of large buildings that have been destroyed and also civilians who were injured, as well as a sad scene where small children are filled with sobs because they have to lose the lives of their parents. This sight convinced Luo Feng even more that he had to eliminate the Golden Behemoth monster. Luo Feng's family and his wife, who were still waiting at home, also looked worried. Aside from being worried about the Golden Behemoth monster, they were also worried about Luo Feng still not coming back. In fact, he still hadn't contacted he up until now. From the waiting and worries of his family, in the end, the figure he had been waiting for appeared. And of course, it was Luo Feng who then received hugs from his wife and family. A short burst of motivation came from a live TV broadcast of the president of China telling sad news about the tragedy that happened that night in Jiangnan, the city where the base is located. Even though many innocent people died in this tragedy, all military forces and warriors will continue to work and fight for the survival of mankind. Luo Hua also explained that when the first wave of attacks brought by the golden behemoth monster caused as many as 5 million victims throughout China. From this, it was clear that the golden behemoth monster itself was a high-level bloodline in the universe. Even though it's only at the star level, for earthly mankind, the existence of these creatures is like the apocalypse. For him, humans are like ants that he can easily trample with his giant body. Besides that, since the golden behemoth monster started to carry out attacks on all bases in the world, at the same time, the sea monsters also started to launch attacks. They also headed around the coast and headed inland to carry out the invasion, causing the situation to become very threatening. Warriors and military soldiers also work together to fight sea monsters, which are said to be more dangerous than land monsters, which in the future will be a big battle between the two races, namely the monster race and also the human race, in order to survive. At the same time, Inspector Jia called Luo Feng yet again. This time, he called with a very panicked tone. At first, Luo Feng thought that the golden behemoth monster had returned for a follow-up attack. But that's not true, said the Inspector Jia. After the golden behemoth monster destroyed all the military bases around the world, now the monster is resting on the seabed. And the big problem that happened this time was related to the sea monsters. The military had detected the appearance of 12 king-grade sea monsters around the eastern area of Jiangnan City, and 6 of them were currently heading towards the southeast. If they allowed this to continue, they would soon encircle Jiangnan Base City. That's why Superintendent Jia hoped for Luo Feng to help eradicate them on the front lines. The hard task that Luo Feng had to complete again made Su Xin and his family worry. Before rushing off to the target location, Luo Feng left 3 guardian robots from ancient ruin number 12 behind to protect his family from any harm that could happen at any time. Then it was Luo Feng's turn to get back into action on the battlefield. In the middle of their journey, Bada told them that the 3 silver human robots they had found before were only robot technicians. So they can't help in battle because their attacks aren't very good. To fix the Silver Man, it takes Bada 3 days. As for the star-destroying weapon, Bada has added useful materials to make it even stronger. And Bada has also added the energy source from the energy crystal needed for the weapon. Up until now, the star-destroying weapon is still in the assembly process, which will soon be completed in more than 1 day. On the next day, Luo Feng hoped that the golden behemoth would still be resting and not wreak havoc before the star-destroying weapon was finished. Meanwhile, from the military monitoring room, it was known that 6 king monsters were headed towards the border of the southeastern region, including the Azure Dragon that occupied the East Sea region and the Whale King from the northern region, which had never made a move before. Then there are 2 monsters from the continent of Australia who have not appeared for a long time, namely the Jellyfish King and the Purple Azure Dragon. Elsewhere, there are also dragon turtles from India that are almost at the level of emperors and dragon kings of Earth, which have been seen in the Misty Island region. These 6 king-level monsters are well known because they are often seen in their territories and fight with each other over territory disputes. But now they work together very well to invade human territory. According to Inspector Jia, there is only one possibility in this matter, namely the existence of the Sea Emperor, who had long been asleep and was now controlling king-level monsters to attack humans. Also likely, the 2 Sea Emperor beasts were under orders from the Golden Behemoth that was carrying out the attack to replace itself, which was resting for recovery. Now, the fate of the city's security at Jiangnan Base is completely in the hands of the Inspector of the city of Jiangnan. and he is the only hope that will become the city's savior. Here, the president of China asked to broadcast Luo Feng's action to the whole world. Because for mankind, the current situation is the same as the apocalypse that brings destruction. They only need to be confronted with a glimmer of hope in order to rise again from despair. Of course, this is the role of the main actor, where the action that he will show to the world will reshape the hopes of those who had vanished.
此刻都是命运共同体，人们需要希望。罗峰就是这个可以给全世界带来希望的人。
The news show that was shown to the public seemed to show 6 huge monsters that had finally arrived in the southeast and caused chaos. This caused the military to immediately set up a front line of defense. They all have to fight with no protection, because the golden behemoth monster had already destroyed all the military bases there. This fact made even the news anchor feel despairing. The sense of decision was also unsettled by the humans living within the fort of the southeastern border city of Jiangnan Base. After they all heard the news of the arrival of a king-level monster that would be arriving there soon.
将士们不得不以血肉之躯来对抗怪兽。
But along with that, the region's military detected any signs of the appearance of Inspector Luo Feng, who dashed swiftly towards the forefront of the southeastern region. Luo Feng was flying at the speed of 5,000 miles per second. With that speed, Luo Feng moved through the airborne troops flying to the front lines and took over as their leader, giving them all orders. Luo Feng's presence caused everyone's morale, which had previously fallen into a sense of decision, to begin to rise again. Because it was time for Luo Feng to get back into action. And that's the end of this very tense episode. I'm looking forward to seeing how Luo Feng deals with king-level monsters in the next story. We can't wait for episode 79 to come out next week. So that's it. Thank you for staying until the end of my video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe so that this channel can grow. See you next my video. Bye.